In its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
From Harlem in New York City. Yeah, it's the Ramble with me. I'm Alex Bennett. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a very funny guy that lives out on the west coast of the United States in San Francisco. He's also an old friend, and I really enjoyed talking to him. His name is Larry Bubbles Brown. Yay!
We go way back.
We do go way back. How many years is it now? When did we first meet?
You had me, the first time I did your show was January of 83.
Do you know the day?
It was a Friday.
Yeah.
So it would have been, I think it was the 14th.
14th. Oh, okay.
And I was so intimidated, I didn't say much, and I felt real bad. And you said, "Don't worry, I'll have you back soon."
Mm-hmm.
And you did.
Oh, the reason I did, I'll tell you why I did. I had you back because when somebody comes on, it's their first time, and they don't talk much. I like that because I know they're taking their best shot. You know, they're not just trying to just talk a lot so they fill time out and show off themselves and so on. And I like that about you.
Oh, okay.
And I knew there was more to you in just what you said than being that quiet. And so I had you on more and more, and you became more confident. And you still...
Yeah, I mean, it was very... I'd never been on radio. The first time it was very intimidating. And,
what was intimidating about it?
Well, you had the live audience, and you had all these... I think Stephen Pearl was on with me, and...
what year was this again?
83.
83. Okay. All right. That was... We were still on the Quake, right?
Yeah, on the Sutter Street.
Yeah. So, there was a studio audience, and I'm trying to think. We had Stephen Pearl on that day, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Who else was there? Do you remember?
I just recall me and him, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Some days it wasn't. I preferred it when I had like 2 or 3 comedians, not when I had a gangbang of like 5 of them. And then they're all sitting there trying to top each other. And
that's horrible.
It can get funny, but it also is very hard as a host. You know, as a host of a show, you're really like the ringmaster of a circus.
Yeah, and with 5 comics, you lose control.
And you got to get all the lions to be on their perches, you know. And so you have to. When you're doing a show live, it's very strange how you control these people. And I found I could control everybody with a look. Like, it's your turn now.
Yeah.
You know. But sometimes we get people in like Warren Thomas and Stephen Pearl and Jeremy Kramer. And the 3 of them were just all trying to top each other.
Because it was too much.
Just an endless stream of comedy, yeah. You waited your shot, but if you were in that group, you probably wouldn't say anything.
No, I'd be way too intimidated by those guys.
Yeah, but you're just interesting talking. I mean, I looked at almost 350 of these things.
Jesus.
I mean, that's a lot. It's over 300, that I know. And that's a lot of talking that we've done. Wait a minute, I'll look it up right now. I can find it. Right here, let me see here. Guess. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to go here. I went up into the thing that says guess. Oh, wait a minute. I got to get guess. Oh, here it is. Okay. We'll have to wait for it to come up because there's a lot of files there. Oh, here we go. Okay, now I go down to Bubs, and I go to the first Bubs. And I go to the, let me see here. Come on. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Hold on. I'll give it to you in a second. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Are you folks bored out there while
Yeah.
I'm doing this? Okay, I'm glad you are. Okay, now I go get info. Are you ready for this? Okay. Well, in actual files that I have here, and I find this almost hard to believe, it says 377.
Jesus.
We've done 377 of these. The first one I have here, and you may have done more because it says Bubbles 3 and Bubbles 4. Oh, there's a Bub 2. When's that? Is that earlier? 7 and 6? Been doing these since 2016.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to hear what you sounded like when you were?
No, I'll probably no. It'd depress me.
No, here. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
So it's our good friend Larry Bubbles Brown once again. Hi, Bubs.
Hey, thanks for pulling me out of the grave.
Giving you a
I had so
second.
many comments. People go, "He's still alive."
See, now I could have done that. Hold on a
We
second.
were talking
Let me just
before
end
we
this.
started this.
Okay. That was you back then. And I could play that today, and most people would think we recorded it this week.
Yeah, I just noticed your voice and my voice kind of sound the same. We
Yeah,
haven't
I
changed
guess.
that much.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I keep thinking mine's gotten a little different, but it hasn't really. You know? But, I mean...
No, you still have the strong broadcast voice. People, as they get older, usually their voices kind of go up a bit, and they get a little creaky.
Yeah, and by the way, you're taking up 4.57 gigabytes on my disk. So
Is that a lot?
that's a lot, yeah. But it says 377 documents, so I assume we're up to 377.
We've got more airtime than Hugh Downs.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that amazes me, too. But we've been doing it since 2016.
So 9 years.
So that's 9 years, and we do 52 a year, I guess. Probably should be more than that. But no, that would be just about
50 before 50. So, but then you got to. But see, there's times we didn't do for holidays.
Right, exactly. So the 377 seems to make sense.
Yeah,
Now,
it does.
I didn't think it made sense, but wow. Well, we should stop now. I can just run reruns. I can
Just repeat 'em.
I just run reruns for the rest of my life and not have to even talk to you. Wow. And I've been wasting all my time talking to you.
Yeah, we've been exhausting ourselves.
Anyway, so what's new with Larry Bubbles Brown? You been working?
Just a little, yeah. Did a little show, a winery show that I actually booked out in Lodi. This is actually a very nice gig. And
The winery seemed to like you.
wineries are a great place to do comedy. So you get an audience. They actually seem a little more smarter than you do in the clubs.
I would imagine it also because they're doing wine, obviously.
Yeah.
They're a little more mellow because wine is not a booze high,
Exactly.
you know?
The alcohol and that alcohol can get people really ugly.
Really?
They get loud, and then a little more they get violent. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Have you ever had anybody...
You and I were never drinkers.
Have you ever had a crowd that you were playing to get violent?
My first year of comedy, when that day the Niners had won and they were going to the Super Bowl, and the crowd was just out of control.
Really?
I was at the Punchline. I was been doing comedy a year, and everyone was just yelling and screaming. I ended my set by saying, "Fuck you, people. I hope you lose next week."
Oh, boy.
I think they wanted to hang me at that point. I just ran out of the building.
Now, you were heckled by a very famous person at one point.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so you remember, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you might want to tell that story because it got me to hate him when you told
Really?
the story to
Okay,
me.
well,
yeah, because
he
I
was-
went, what right does somebody have to heckle Larry Bubbles Brown, the most unheckable person in history?
But you have to remember the situation. He was so drunk.
Okay.
He was
Well, we won't reveal who it was till the end. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Tell
it
the
was
story. You were called. It was the Mitchell brothers, wasn't
I was
it?
hired. Mitchell Brothers was opening their little. It was down by the American Music Hall. What would they call? They called the Mitchell Brothers.
Yeah, Mitchell brothers, and they had all the fish on the side of the building,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whales and
they
things
had,
like that.
So they were just opening that. They had.
In fact, when they wanted to close that place down after one brother killed the other brother,
Right.
I can't remember which brother killed which brother. Do you remember?
I think there was Artie Mitchell and John Mitchell, but I don't know which
I
one
think
took the bullet.
Artie got killed. I think. I'll look it up sometime.
And I don't think the brother. I don't think he served little, if any, time.
Yeah, right. Well, he killed him because I was kind of privy to that story. I mean, he just had it with him, and he showed up at his house, I think, with a gun. If it was Artie, it was either. I think it was Artie. Anyway, and he was so sick and tired of this guy, going like that. He was just had a drug problem. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the other brother, just to protect himself, shot him, And I mean, he had to live with that for the rest of his life. But the two of them, the Mitchell brothers, were very famous for what we would call high-quality porn, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was porn,
Porn.
There were penises in mouths, I mean, that's porn, okay? Not softcore.
Well, that was the Mitchell Brothers Cinema. Then they opened the thing with the whales on the building, and that was live performance.
So this was a big opening of that, and
They were going to have a grand opening. So before they opened, they had a private party for the employees, and I got a call from Tom Sawyer, and he said they wanted some comedians, so he booked me, Milt Abel, and Frank Prinzi to come down and do the show for the employees, which we did, and. At one point, I go on, and I'm up there for a few minutes. I just hear some guy, oh, yeah, just the incomprehensible shit. And
like you're not funny or...
Yeah, get off. And,
yeah. And this, to me, to do to Bubbles, if I were there, I'd punch the guy in the face. And I'm not violent, okay? But you don't do this to Bubbles. Bubbles has the most unheckable act in history. Okay, you don't get many hecklers, do you?
Hardly ever, no.
Yeah, but this time you did, and he was abusive, as you
Pretty
told.
abusive, yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was a mean drunk.
Yeah, and he was obviously drunk.
Uh-huh.
Now tell them who the guy was.
He was Hunter Thompson. Who I think he was living there, or... He was definitely staying he was writing something about them, so he was there for weeks or months. So.
Yeah, but, I mean, of course, it's wonderful to say you were heckled by Hunter Thompson, but when it happened, you came back to me, told me the story, and you were bothered by it.
Yeah, because I remember my father actually liked Hunter Thompson. He thought he was a great writer, and...
I did too. I was a fan until that happened.
Yeah, so that is actually I should. It's kind of a good story now that I think about it. I got heckled by Hunter Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great story. That's why I just brought it up, and it's funny that in 366 episodes, I've never brought it up.
No.
It's really a part of your history.
And then I remember the bunch of the girls that worked there. A couple of them came up to me and they said they really liked me, and if they weren't lesbians, they would fuck me. So.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
If I weren't a lesbian, I'd fuck you.
Fuck you, yeah.
That's kind of a compliment, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to get you laid, but it's a nice compliment.
But yeah, looking back, I think it was '85. I should know the date, but that was a crazy night.
Yeah. But when did that happen? See, he remembers dates.
And I should know the exact date. I just remember it was 1985.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be about right, because I was still on the air in 80. In fact, That was my first year, maybe at the Quake. No, at Live 105.
Live 105, you came on in February of '86.
86.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've had it all wrong, because I tried to figure out that I was on KMEL, then I was off KMEL, then I was hired by the Quake at an enormous amount of money. That's why I left KMEL. I saw it as a great opportunity, but it turned out it was the station was bought by a bunch of people who didn't know how to handle money, and they sent money back to this guy in Philadelphia if there were any profits coming out of the station or all the money that came to the station, and he spent it ridiculously badly on himself. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now the station is going bankrupt. All right. And it was just a terrible situation. But I originally went over. I think we lasted. How long were we at the? Do you remember at that?
You went off
Quake?
sometime in, because let's say I did your show in '83. You were there in '84, and then I think sometime in '80. I remember at one point you and Rogalski you weren't sure your checks were going to clear. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, I told everybody. I told the bosses. I said, if you don't have enough money to make the checks clear for everybody else here, then don't pay me for that week, and we'll catch you on the other side if the money is coming in. I said, but I don't. I'm making so much money that I can afford not to take a check for a couple of weeks
Wow, that was
or whatever. Nice. Yeah. So it was a terrible time. By the way, it was just horrible. And then finally, I went off the air, and they were paying me, not to work, because my contract was still in force, because I had lawyers making sure that it was. And then all of a sudden I got this deal from Live 105. I won't go into it. It's a long, involved deal. But basically it was a kind of a football deal, where one station would take part of the expense, and the other one would take care of the other part of the expense. And if I did better than I originally had done at the Quake, they would no longer have to pay me. And the people who at the Quake said, no, we don't like that deal. We just want it, like we do 40%, you do 60%. And the first book that came out, I beat my numbers at the Quake, and they had to still keep paying me. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's that story.
And when you came to Live 105, were they paying you as much as the Quake had?
Yes. I think the same, if I remember correctly. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but the same. And it was, it was a good deal. I decided to do it. Although when I first walked in and saw that studio, I phoned my business manager and I said, "Is there any way we can get out of this?"
Yeah,
because you remember that. You remember that studio? It was terrible. It was just a small little rat's nest. It's in the building that's now owned by Elon Musk.
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. And we were on the bottom floor, and it was so bad there were pigeons that roosted in the rafters and then shit on the people below. I remember my program director's office had a real shit problem from pigeons.
Did they have parking for you?
No. But
that would be a problem.
I think at that point I was able to park on the street. It was early in the morning, so the street was empty, and the street didn't have like 1 hour parking or anything like that, so I could just park in front of it, and that was fine. But then when we went to the newer Live 105, there was a garage below, and I took out a spot,
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so it was great. It's what I have on my Facebook page. It says, "I used to be a big shot."
Your own parking. That's big when you have your own parking space.
Oh, I used to be a big shot. I mean, I was a big shot in San Francisco. Yeah.
Well, how much was Quake paying you back then?
Quake was paying me in the end. They were paying me, I believe, somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 a year.
God, in 1982, three, that's huge.
Yeah. Plus, I had a deal. We wanted more than that, and they couldn't come up with it. So my business manager, Gary, came up with a thing. He said, well, Alex does these live reads for you, and you're making extra money off of that, or you're making money off of that because people want Alex to do a live read because I really sold product,
Right.
In fact, I was the heaviest seller, most successful seller on the air of Vermont teddy bears. And this was at a time when they were advertising with Howard Stern. I still sold more than Howard Stern. So people wanted me to do live reads. It was also because I used to kind of make fun of the product,
Right.
And I often said, like, the Vermont teddy bear, it's the best way of telling your girlfriend, I'm sorry I had sex with your friend. But anyway, what he did is he made a deal where I got $50 every time I did a live read. And that was good for another $50,000, $60,000 a year. So that was a good move on my business manager's part. So
I remember
I'd have
you
to
did
say I was
ads
making
for
almost $400,000 a year there.
There was a mattress place you did live reads for, and
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. What was the
Brass and Glass or something like that?
Yeah, Brass and Glass. Yes, that was the name of it. Odd name for a mattress company.
Yeah.
I think it was a bedding company, so the brass came from the beds with the posts and everything like that. Glass and Brass. What was the glass they were selling? Anyway, I sold them. I can't remember what I did to their advertising. I remember what you did to yours. You did the.
Yeah, I got fired. I lost Kaiser. So.
You lost Kaiser. He was my traffic guy. He would tell you where the traffic was going that morning with a famous saying that he used to use all the time, which was
"Park it, whore."
You're right. Anyway, you had Kaiser. Well, tell the story. You had Kaiser as an advertiser.
Yeah, I did the traffic, and then you give a little ad read at the end. I think Kaiser was one of the sponsors, and
you read the little thing at the end, and then you added to that.
Their phrase was, "Kaiser, we're different from the ground up," and I added because that's where most of our patients are.
Well, wait a minute, but there was a better one. The one that lost the advertiser. By the way, they were a hospital, Kaiser. Okay. Yeah. And it was, you don't remember?
Doctor.
You're coming up with it. Yeah, that's it.
Doctor-assisted suicide.
Yeah, you said Kaiser, doctor-assisted suicide. We don't want to advertise anymore with your traffic guy.
No, I can. I'll pull it out the next. I have a memo from two Pat McNally from Kaiser saying, pull all spots immediately with 3 exclamation points.
You see, what they didn't know is what I knew when I was doing spots for other people, is that if you make fun of them...
Oh, they love that. It's good.
People will think good of the advertiser.
Uh-huh.
And why will they think good of the advertiser? Because they've got a sense of humor
of course.
About themselves. And so they made, it was a big deal, And so when you made fun of them, Kaiser should have gone, good, at least people will remember who we are. That's all that you have to do with advertising is make people remember who you are.
They were furious.
They were absolutely furious. And I think Slayton lost me an advertiser. I can't remember which one for saying something.
Oh, I'm sure he has. No shock there.
But I used to tell the boss, whoever the boss was at the time, don't worry, Pat. Pat McNally was really there most of the time. Don't worry, Pat. There'll be another advertiser coming along who will want to advertise with us. So you lost Kaiser, big deal. You know,
Yeah.
actually, you didn't. We didn't lose Kaiser. You were really working for the people who did the traffic.
I think of Metro Traffic.
Metro
yeah.
Traffic lost the advertiser,
Right.
but Pat knew about it, and
Yeah, he wasn't happy about
he
it.
wasn't delighted. But you know, it was worth you doing that joke because I have done that joke over and over again, year after year, when describing certain.
And it still applies today.
It still applies today. Doctor-assisted suicide. Well, you know, this is maybe number 260. Let's see, that was 66. It was 677, then
This will be
78, 79. This is 679 with Larry Bubbles Brown. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Reminiscing with Larry about all the sponsors we lost in our time. It was a great. Oh, let me turn this on. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't. Oh, come on. Stay on. Okay, there we go. And then it will fade down a little bit and it will look better. There we go. Anyway, hello, everybody. How are you? I'm Alex Bennett, and this is our little get-together on Friday. Boy, it's been a slow week this week. Right now, we have only 2 people waiting to come on. And so you kind of wonder, you know, gee, I really don't know, you know. But anyway, I'm wearing my KML T-shirt. Anyway. That's that. So anyway, let's go to the people we got, and let's see if any other people join us tonight. I don't know why it's been so slow this week. Maybe we're coming to the end of this program. Okay, the one on Monday seems to be just fine. We have tons of people calling that show, but what the hell? Anyway, let's admit the people here well, I just hit admit all. Come on, there we go. There we go, and then we go to Zoom, and we got Charlie and Josh. What happened to Josh? Are you there, Josh? Josh? Huh? Look at that.
They kidnapped Josh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Josh, but anyway, par for the course this week. It's that quiet. Oh, here comes Al. Here comes Alan. Okay. Oh, we lost Wheeler. What the hell happened? Anyway, here comes Alan. Hello, Alan. Alan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can
Oh,
you hear
okay.
me?
Yes, I was just worried that there were some problems. I do hear some sound in the background, though. You know, you're doing a Jeff on us. Anyway, here comes Josh. There's Josh. Okay. Having problems earlier, Josh?
I'm not sure I could hear you, but
Yeah, but you were just black. That was it. You know.
not to you. Don't know what happened.
You know what I do with my coffee now? I make it, and I put it in the freezer, and I get it cold because I like cold coffee. Anybody here else here? What's that? Like cold coffee? No?
Nah, I like my coffee hot.
You like it hot? Yeah, well, I like it cold. It's like a soft drink of some sort. It's like a, you know. But I like it cold, and Marjorie goes, "What? Why do you like it that way?" And it got the reason I was drinking it cold was because I would do a show, and I would make it hot, and I would drink it. And I would have about a half a cup, and I go, "Why throw it out? I'll save it for tomorrow." And I put it in the refrigerator, and then I pull it out. And it was cold, and I went, "I like this. This is really good," you know. So, what the hell? That was our story. Okay.
Day-old coffee.
Day-old coffee. Well, no, sometimes 2 or 3 day-old coffee. It doesn't
Oh
matter.
my goodness.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Well, what do you mean? Oh, you're acting.
Each his own. If that's what you like, that's what you like.
It's cold coffee. Coffee doesn't really change much when it's sitting in the refrigerator. It just gets cold. That's all. So I don't know if anybody wants to assail me for that, but why don't you try next time? Why don't you take some coffee? Next time you make some coffee. Do you finish a whole cup, Charlie?
Yeah, my coffee doesn't last long enough to get cold.
Okay.
Neither does mine.
Yeah, I'm not much. I drink a little bit at a time. And then my latest thing, I'm very proud of this. All of a sudden, I got my I got my ice cube maker to work. Well, I don't have any ice cubes in here right now, but I did. And the ice cube maker in the refrigerator now works, so I can make ice cubes.
That's kind of cool. Most people use the freezer to make their ice cubes. You kind of walked into that, sorry.
My refrigerator has...
/ freezer, yes.
My refrigerator has its own ice cube maker, okay?
It does?
Don't get sassy with me. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
You're there. You're okay. You're fine. Don't touch anything. You're fine. Anyway, this is the end of the week. Anybody have anything they want to say about this week?
It was awful hot, is all I got to say.
It was hot, and then today it got quite cool in New York. But now it's kind of getting a little warmer. It's like, it's 66. But Marjorie, I get in these arguments with Marjorie all the time. She claims I gave her cold last night because I turned the air conditioner on. Too cold. But the only thing you can do to take care of humidity, unless I get a dehumidifier, which I guess I could buy, but that would be kind of redundant. But the air conditioner dehumidifies. And so if you've got humidity in the air, it doesn't matter whether it's 66 or not. If it's humid, it's humid, And they don't make, as I said, they don't make air conditioners that say, okay, it's kind of warm out there, I'll cool the air. Okay, now it's cool out there, but there's still humidity, so I'll turn on a dehumidifier. I don't think there's any air conditioner that does that. So
I've never heard of it.
So if I bought a dehumidifier, I'd turn that on, but that would be redundant to the air conditioner.
Let's just make the air drier.
Yeah,
Even drier.
I often wondered, okay, if I had a dehumidifier, what would it do? It would dehumidify the air, right?
Yeah.
What if in the same room I put a humidifier?
It would fill up the dehumidifier quickly.
Would the room just explode? What would happen?
Your power
waste
bill
a lot
would
of
go to
money.
$750 a month?
Yeah, I can't figure that one out. But anyway. So, how you doing, Wheeler?
Doing good. How you doing?
Yeah. Anything exciting in your life? No.
Well, I mean, my second article published, and they
All right.
asked me to write a third.
Oh, good.
I got to work on that this weekend, and then the Journal of the American Revolution has a podcast they do every week with an author that they interview for an hour, and they asked me to come on Sunday. So on Sunday,
Wow.
Very good. Very
do an
good.
interview. I think they
Yes.
record it. I don't think it goes out on
Well,
Sunday.
it
I think
doesn't matter. It's still nice that you've been asked,
They
Yeah.
got it's a big organization, so I think they have somebody edit it, and it plays an introduction and all that music and all that.
They
crap.
just do the basic interview on Sunday, and then they add
Yeah,
all the
that's, I
rest.
think
Yeah.
they said they'd send me the link and some questions to prepare for and stuff. So
Is this all for your thesis?
No,
no, it's
No.
for articles that I write.
Oh, okay.
they're very, very scholastic, shall I say?
Yeah.
and they're very good. But I had a hard time getting through one of them because it's a top. You understand, don't you, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, some
yeah.
of the
It's basically that I'm stupid. Okay, let me.
no, some of the articles are more. They're designed to. They're written more for the historical community. They have
Okay.
some. I mean, it's a professional journal, So I mean, that's in itself is it's no different than most regular people don't read the New England Journal of Medicine as like they would Newsweek or People Magazine, right? It's because it's written for about research and things like that. So it's a journal just like that, except in the historical field versus the medical field or whatever. So the articles have that sort of a tone. Their main goal is they do provide some narrative, but they're cleaning up the bad historiography that's been out there from before and kind of resetting the what we know. The same events and things like that here down the road, I'm working into a book form that I think, the publisher of the journal is open to as well. Now, the book form won't be nearly written that way, right? You get the same information, but you're going to get it in a narrative fashion, sort of, narrative, right? Like a story.
Right.
So in the article where I lay out a particular historian who wrote this and who wrote that, and here's how they were wrong, and here's how I know they were wrong with all these details. And the narrative book form, I can skip all that, put it in an endnote, right? But the paragraph that the reader would actually read would be the good stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
but
and
you
so
let me
rode
just
up on a horse and
yeah.
shot so and so on their deck, right? I mean, that kind of thing.
So as to not put everybody to sleep here with this discussion, because we're getting kind of deep into it. But what you telling me is that the history we've been told is not necessarily the history that really existed?
Well, I'm only talking about my specific small area of research, I mean, that is what I'm telling you, but don't apply that to like broadly everything that you learned or everything that you learned about the American Revolution. I'm only saying my area covers events after the surrender of Cornwallis at Yorktown. I don't do anything before that. I mean, I know about that. I'm saying I don't write anything right now before that. My story starts that day, right? And I'm doing the next day up until, there was a peace treaty and, everybody was done fighting. There's almost no work done in that period. But basically about a year, okay, about 10 months for the provisional treaty, 10 and a half, 11 months. There's almost no work done on it. And what work has been done on it is very poor. A lot of it's sparse. A lot of it was done a long time ago. It wasn't very good. Some of it was done before professional historians were really what they are today, which is professionals. It was just people writing hearsay, this, that, and the other. And then some people who write today even came along and they found that information. And because that part of their bigger book was about this much, they didn't really check it out.
Right.
Because they wrote this much about all that up to Yorktown, and then they threw in some tidbits at the end about afterwards, and they didn't really check it out. So it was harming the historiography of
Yeah, but how? And let me just ask you this quickly, and then I'm going to get on to other stuff. But how do you, as a historian, okay, I guess you consider yourself a historian or a writer about history, how do you ferret out what really is true? I mean, that happened, 300 years ago, something like that? 250 years ago?
It's not done much differently than investigative journalism or similar,
Yeah, but there's nobody to interview.
fields.
There's nobody to
There doesn't
interview.
have to be anybody to interview. You still have there is. I mean, you have their words and their writings. So letters,
Well, there's
journals,
the old
newspaper
saying, though.
articles.
There's the old saying. You might disagree with it. History belongs to the victor.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone over before. I don't think that's right, but the point is, if you witnessed an event and Charlie witnessed an event, the same event, okay? You both witnessed the same event, and neither one of you know each other.
Okay.
And there's no way that the two of you got together and worked out your story.
Okay.
And you went home and you wrote a letter to your brother or your mother, and you said, "This is what I saw," blah, 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 blah.
Can I have the Ken?
They went
I
home
should
and
have
wrote a letter.
I probably should have the Kim Burns music in back of
Yeah,
me,
right.
right? Yes.
And Charlie went home and wrote the same letter, and he wrote down virtually the same exact things. And then I go to a primary source, another primary source. So, in that, I go to the papers of Nathaniel Green, and he writes to his boss, Washington, what happened. And what he writes matched what you wrote and what Charlie wrote. And the three of you have never spoken to each other. You've never met. You have no reason to lie about it. You didn't get together and work out your story. And I can come across other evidence that supports it. I can find a pension application for a soldier who fought in the battle, who says that he fought in the battle on the same day, and that his brother, who you two mentioned in your letter, died, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, if you take all these pieces of the puzzle and you put them together, and there's really no possible way that any of you could be lying, and it matches the evidence in a courtroom, it's not much different than that. We prove it beyond reasonable doubt, right? Which is all we can ever do. I mean, you and I, we were not sitting there in a lawn chair watching it unfold, but if I can prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that that's what happened, until God comes down from the heaven and says otherwise, that's what happened.
Okay. So it's kind of forensic. Anyway.
I mean, it's very, it's step by step. I mean, but my point is, my work is that a lot of what got written down out there over, the last 2 centuries, some by pretty reputable people, some by not so reputable people, a lot of what got done didn't do all those steps, or at sometimes didn't hardly do any of them, because the area being covered was an era that people didn't particularly care about.
Okay.
At least at the time. So.
Anyway, let's get on to some other stuff. Today it was announced, and I don't know how many. I don't even see it on Drudge. I'm trying to see if he has a story here. But guess what decided to close its doors? The Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Wow.
Wow.
I heard all about that.
Yeah. Yeah. They are closing their doors. They that doesn't mean the PBS goes out of business, or, we don't do any many Ken Burns documentaries, but you won't ever see that extra little thing at the end. And the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, who had a lot of money to put into PBS and a lot of their programming. And they got the money primarily from the government, who has now decided to not give them a lot of money. So they decided they had to close down. So what happens from here, we have no idea. No more pledge breaks, folks. No, a lot of pledge breaks. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, that's the only way to get funded now.
I'm not sure how Democrats are not able to find good messengers who can sell some of these things in a better way. That, really what this is just, it's government censorship. I mean, I understand the government paid for it, so they theoretically have some right to content, but let's remind everybody that this is America, and I thought that as conservatives, we were supposed to believe that the government didn't belong in the business of censorship, you know?
Right.
I mean, I was reading a story today about the unemployment rate
Yep.
in the state of Ohio is skyrocketing since Trump took office. 50,000 people alone in the month of July in Ohio filed for unemployment. I'm finally coming off of unemployment, so I understand the difficulty. But anyway, unemployment is going up badly, and there have been employers have been dealing with apparently, and I believe this, a lot of people who do not show up for their job interviews. Okay, they just don't show up. So there is a lawmaker, a Republican lawmaker in the state of Ohio, who wants to create a database where employers can go in and put your name in there when you don't show up for your job interview. And I don't understand how Democrats can't go out and say this is another problem in the business community that they want government to come in and fix. This is a private matter between businesses and people. They want to create a government database to put your name in it on whether or not you showed up for job interviews. Okay? I mean, it's a to me, why can't Democrats get people to understand here the Republicans go again, trying to use government to fix something that business is complaining about or that people are complaining about. They literally want a government database with your name in it on whether or not you go to job interviews. That is between businesses and people. If the market demands that people show up for job interviews, maybe these jobs need to pay a little bit more or whatever. That's between business and the people for the job interviews. The government should have nothing to do with that. Okay? I mean, now we may disagree on some of that or whatever, but I'm just saying, messaging wise, it took me 9 seconds or less to think of how I would go about fighting that in the state of Ohio if I were a Democrat. And instead, they're all, oh, this is going to hurt workers and blah, blah. You don't need to say any of that. No one.
Look, the Democrats are useless.
Yes.
Okay? They're absolutely useless. Now, I'm not a Republican. I'm not saying this because I'm a Republican. I'm saying this because I'm a Democrat, and I am just aggrieved that the people who I call my folks, the Democrats, don't do crap. Okay? All they do is sit around and moan, and Schumer gets up there with his glasses down like this, looking at his little prepared statement, and he just reads it, and he feels he's done his job. Well, no, he hasn't done his job because he hasn't affected change. Cory Booker's better at that than Schumer is.
I'm just saying, I mean, they should be running around saying, here in Ohio, that they are trying to stick the government's nose into private industries interviewing of grown people. And whether or not, if they don't ship. Now, if the businesses want to get together in some business roundtable or some, whatever chamber of commerce type thing and create a database, fine. Okay? That's not against the law for my business to talk to your business, to talk to Charlie's business, and we all go in. That's fine, right? I don't know if I would want to do it. I'm just saying that's fine. But why should the government have this registry? Why should they create it? Why should they pay for it? Well, I mean, I could go on all day in a debate against some sorry Republican about this. But every Democrat will just run around and talk about how this will just hurt, the people's feelings, and it'll make them, cause emotion. I heard, emotional distress. And I mean, they got to do it in such a sissy, whine-ass way that people will just roll their eyes and miss the entire point. Which, here the Republicans go again. The new Republican Party in the last, decade wants government involved in everything. They don't want government to fix everything, but they want government to control everything. Every aspect of your life, they want the government to control. And the latest thing now is whether or not you show up for your job interviews. I mean, how hard is it to sell that message? That's the message they should be on, is that the Republicans don't want to take over the government. They want to take over your lives using the government. Narrow it down into a sentence like that and just keep saying it over and over and over again
Yeah, but
until people puke.
you know something? Nobody's listening to you.
No.
Okay, nobody's listening to you. The trouble is that the Democrats have lost all the ideas of how to do things. I mean, the only one that I think has done anything extraordinary recently is Mondami here in New York. I mean, at least he's causing people to question the politics of how we've been doing things all along. You know, and I'm waiting for him to. I hope he becomes mayor. You know, I don't know. You agree with that, do you, Jeff?
Yes,
You do agree with it.
I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
All right. All right. Anybody disagree with Mondami and the way he's doing his, you know, his politicking? Because they're trying to just nail him like crazy. You know, anti-Semitic. You know, how can if I never could figure out. I was asking a guest we have here tonight, who calls the Monday show, about the fact that how can Mondami possibly be anti-Semitic? He is Semitic,
Yeah.
you know? People are going, what? He's Semitic? How's he Semitic? He's Islamic, isn't he? Yes, they're Semitic. Semitic is a tribe, okay? Semitic are people. Jews are Semitic. Islam is Semitic. Palestinians are Semitic. So I just don't understand it why they try to put that label on him. No, he's not. And if in fact he hates Jews, lately he has some good reasons to. I mean, look at what I'll tell you, the biggest creator of anti-Semitics in this world is Netanyahu.
Yep.
There you go.
He's doing the biggest job of creating anti-Semitism in this world. And as certainly, when you talk about all those kids growing up in Gaza, do you think they're going to grow up loving Israel or loving Jews? And then you say, well, they don't like Jews. Well, they have every reason not to like Jews. They're out there, the trucks come with the food, and they're all jumping over each other to try and grab what little grains of food they can lay their hands on. I mean, it's pathetic. And now, our president, I think, am I right about this today, is something in the last couple of days, he's gotten mad at Canada because Canada says they're going to back Gaza,
They're going to back, they're going to recognize the country of Palestine.
The Palestinian state.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. And Trump says, I'm going to throw more of a tariff on you. You can't do that. What do you mean they can't do that? They're a nation. They get to make their own decisions about who they're going to go along with and not go along with. And if they say they're for a Palestinian state, then you just go, well, I disagree with you, but, we understand that's what you're doing. But you don't go, I'm going to throw more tariffs on you. Tariffs are like a punishment now. It's gotten to the point, I think, where most of these countries are going, screw you with this tariff stuff. We don't care. We'll sell to somebody else,
Yeah, the country doesn't have to pay for it. We have to pay for it.
Oh, you and I are going to pay for it. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
paid for it yesterday. Got a new alternator for my van that would have been $500 before Trump, and it was $750.
No.
No.
And did they tell you that's why it was $750?
No, they showed me the invoice, that came to them, and that alternator is a Ford factory rebuilt in Mexico, and it's got a 30% tariff on it.
Jeez almighty. Well, we're planning on taking a vacation, rather extensive.
Don't go to Mexico.
2 weeks of cruise through Greece and Istanbul and all those areas down there. And I'll tell you the cost of it. The whole thing total is going to wind up costing us somewhere like around $25,000. If we get it depends on what kind of cabin we want.
I thought cruises were supposed to be a way to see a certain area your floating hotel and meals, and be reasonably priced.
Well, it is reasonably priced. I mean, for the two of us, I think the trip is $7,000. If we want a suite, it goes up to like $11,000.
Spend the money, you got it. No, you can't take
Well,
it with you.
we got to decide whether we want to or not, and then we also got to take a flight. And Marjorie likes to go on it's what's replaced the middle ground in flying. I don't know. It's called
787?
premium economy or something. But premium economy, it's still like $1,500 a piece each way or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's expensive. And then we get into then you got to do trip insurance because you don't want to not do that. Before you're through, you're spending $25,000. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether I want to take.
Maybe you ought to go to Canada instead.
Well, I've got the money. I just don't know if I want to spend that on that.
I know.
I mean, I probably will. The hell with
Why
it.
not?
The money's not going to last me all my life. I'm never going to spend all of it.
Yep.
But I have a certain amount of money, which is like the cash I play with, and then there's the stuff that's in the, in the stocks and stuff. But we're going to have to take some of it from there. All right. I mean, we got a lot of money in stocks.
The stock market, the business news announced it, and I think Josh touched on it. The economy is the worst economy we've had in 20 years.
Yet the stock market, well, it's gone down the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's. I got to tell you, I really think Trump is manipulating the market. He tells all his buddies and stuff, sell your Apple stock. No, it's $300 a share because I'm going to announce bad news about them and tariffs and stuff. And then the stock will drop to 200 or 150, and then I'll say we came to an agreement, and then the stock will go back up.
Well, that's insider trading.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It wouldn't stop him.
Nope. Yeah, well, then we've got to start having somebody investigate that and look into that and say that's not playing fair. But
he even got one of the Fed, not the Fed chairman, but one of the Fed part of the board of directors. He even got her to quit so he could replace her, so they can force a vote to lower rates, which is what Trump wants, which is sure to put us into a recession.
What? But
Do you see a Democrat stepping up and saying, this is not fair, we shouldn't do this, economics,
it all goes back to Josh.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Josh touched on this, something like this a little while ago. But,
But I mean, he's ruining this country, and I don't know why he's doing it. I mean, does he really think he's that smart with the economy? I mean, he's been a loser in business for years. I mean, I think he was down to his last couple of $100 million or something like that before all this happened. And now he learned to take the presidency and turn it into a money-making project.
For himself.
So, I mean, but what do we do about it? How do we stop it? Why doesn't
the Democrats should be stepping up or something like that? I mean, taking all these gifts, a $400,000 plane, it's against the Constitution.
Do you know that $400,000 plane, they've started fixing up? And who's paying for it?
And do you think he's ever going to fly in it? No, not until after he's out of the presidency.
Well, I don't think he can.
They'll take it home with him.
Because I don't think they can fix it up fast enough to make it president worthy. And then it's too small.
Yep.
It's a smaller plane.
A 767, right?
Yeah, well, what's Air Force One?
747.
Yeah, I mean it's a big. If you've ever seen Air Force One, it's huge.
I've been on both the different aircraft, and 747 is definitely bigger.
Where were you on a 747?
Flying to Hawaii and back
Yeah.
10 years ago, 15 years ago. But I was on when I flew to New York, I booked on a 777 as I'd never been on it, and I got on it going there, but coming back, the 777 at Kennedy died, and so it was early morning flight, so they had all kinds of equipment, and they grabbed, because the crowd was small enough, they grabbed a 767.
Yeah,
and it's a wide body plane, but it is what it is.
Here's what I don't get, I think, is that, Trump says he doesn't like Air Force One. It's an old plane.
It is.
Is it? I seem to remember them putting out a new Air Force One maybe within the last 20 years.
Well, they stopped building the 747 about 5 years ago, I think.
The ones that they fly currently, I think, were delivered during the first Bush administration, like 1990 or 91.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they underwent a refurbishment somewhere after that. I don't remember. Maybe during like Obama or something.
It's not like
he wants to. He wants to. The engines and everything are all rebuilt, like Josh says. The newest thing, and I don't know if this is true or not. I heard it on MSNBC the other day. He wants the fan blades of the engine to be painted gold.
Where did you hear that?
On MSNBC a couple of days ago.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And these things are balanced. They spin very fast, so you could never inlay gold. I guess you could.
Well, you could use gold paint, I guess, couldn't you?
I guess, but I mean, but having the color of the blades that they do is done that way on purpose. They don't change the color because it tells ground crew that the engine's spooling up or spooling down, and until it gets down to below a certain thing, it can still suck you into it. So why they got those big circles on the ground, half circles where the engines spool up or spool down, whatever they're going, and to stay out of that area, it's a safety margin.
Would painting them gold be any
probably not
a problem?
It sounds so silly.
Well, I know it sounds silly, but look at what he's done to the Oval Office, for crying out loud. I mean, what it looks like. Oh, what does it look like? It looks like somebody's bad idea of how to decorate, okay? It's horrible. It's just pathetic. And that is a very important part of our lives. It's the seat of office in this country.
Yeah.
And there should be rules about just what you can do with that room before you're going out of bounds. And that would be way out of bounds that he's gone. Would you not agree?
You could let Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, go in there in a T-shirt.
Yeah, Josh, there are no rules about the Oval Office, are there? Or if they are, they've been vacated by him.
Nothing written or whatever I'm aware of. I mean, they all get like a appropriated, budget for improvements and
at what point?
Like that.
Yeah, at what point did we have the Oval Office? For a while there, it was not an Oval Office; it was just an office, right?
Well, they didn't really build all that on and start using it until later, and then part of it was there. It wasn't used just for that, but I think maybe Franklin Roosevelt might have been the first full-time president to use the office. I think maybe I could be wrong, but
And now he wants
I
to
remember that.
he wants to put a ballroom in the White House.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, and I don't really understand the need to spend $200 million on a facility that has hosted kings, queens, and the most powerful people in the history of the world without anybody crying or dying over it. So I don't really see the need, but I mean, I don't really get why people can't sell that. But again, they're talking about a bunch of people who aren't willing to go on television and talk like a real human being. So Trump does it, but no one else will.
Well, he
So
wants it privately financed, right? What I've
I'm
heard.
not sure if he does or not.
Yeah.
They started talking about it and I turned it off. So I'm not really.
I'm willing to say that if he does it, gold will be the predominant color.
Sure.
Probably, yeah.
You were right, Josh. I mean, not that I disagreed, but I Googled the Air Force One, current Air Force One, 35 years old, and it was put out in 1990. And I think that's what you said.
Okay, so it's 35 years old. That's not necessarily old for a plane. Planes are constantly refurbished, brought up to date, redone, especially Air Force One. They've worked on it since then.
But
Yeah.
they already had two replacements were already ordered and are in the production process.
Oh, okay.
That
I was
contract
wrong.
was signed a couple years ago.
When were they ordered? In another administration?
There was a big fight. I think they were ordered right at the end of the Obama administration. And then he fought back and forth during his first administration about how Obama paid too much for him and all that other stuff. And then he was making Boeing lower the price and all that other crap, and I think it pushed it back. So I don't know when they're going to get him now. He had that big thing about how he doesn't like the paint scheme, so he wants to change the color. And he wants it to have colors like he wants and all that.
Isn't it supposed to be what it is? I mean, isn't that the
way it's always been?
I mean,
it's good enough for everybody else. It's an American tradition. I could go on and on and on, but they cannot find a single Democrat who can go on television and act like a man. So, and talk him down and talk the way that he would talk. They're not going to find anybody. And apparently they've talked themselves into the last couple of days over they'll try Kamala Harris again. So good luck with that. I mean, the only thing that I've seen the Democratic Party do in the last 2 days is come back around to think that it would be a good idea for Kamala Harris to run for president again and get all bent out of shape because a good-looking white girl modeled in a fucking jeans commercial or something.
Yes.
So, good luck, I mean, that's exactly how he got elected the first time, and keep that shit up. That's exactly how he'll get elected the third time when he runs, and everybody will look the other way.
Yeah. You don't think Kamala Harris is a good idea, do you?
No. I mean, I get the 107 days thing and all that. I get all of it. I didn't think it was a good idea the first time. I came on here and said, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong because of all this polling. It all turned out to be absolute trash. It turns out I was right. My instinct was correct. The things that I would hear people say around workplaces and things actually showed up on voting day.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't win one single swing state. So, I mean, I'm not going to run her down. I'm just saying that's not who they should run.
Do you think if she had more time?
No.
No. You don't think she was a good candidate?
No.
Okay.
Her numbers were going the wrong direction.
Well, it got off, I thought, to a pretty good start. The convention was good. It was all positive. And then all of a sudden, where did it go wrong? At what point did it suddenly start going south?
It goes wrong with the stuff that I'm saying. They don't have an answer for some of this stuff. They are not willing to talk the way that he talks. And, all the books and everything that have come out and basically said, when that ad came out and said, Trump is for you and Kamala is for they, them, that her campaign sat around a table in a circle and said, we shouldn't respond to that. We shouldn't respond to that. That will offend people. Well, how'd that work out?
They say that one of the things that lost her the election was a single question that she was asked on The View, I think it was. And that question was there anything in the Biden administration you think was wrong? Right. And she said, no, everything was perfect.
She still can't answer that question. Apparently she went on this Colbert or whatever And her answer for all that was because, well, I wasn't going to be one of those people that piles on. There was a lot of piling on,
It
and I
wasn't a
wasn't.
matter of,
watch that.
I
I
don't,
mean,
you know, I don't think Biden would have minded if she had come up with an answer to that.
every book that has come out has been clear that says that he told her not to do that. That he told her to run away from him and go blame him and run her own campaign. All the insider accounts say that, and she still wouldn't do it.
Wow.
Which, I mean, don't is fine or whatever. I mean, if those are the things that she believes, I don't think she has to change them. But still, I'm just saying it didn't work, and it's not going to work.
But they say that
in a couple of years.
that answer lost her the election.
I don't know if it was that, but
I think there's more than that.
you know,
I think so too. I don't think the country's ready for a woman.
I think campaigning with the Cheneys hurt her. Lost her election.
With the who?
Who?
With the Cheneys,
Oh,
Liz
Liz
and Dick
Cheney.
Cheney.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
hurt her.
Well, they probably figured that might help them with certain Republicans, but it didn't. You know.
I don't think she came out and worked hard enough to get that job.
I
think she worked pretty hard.
I
just
thought
didn't
she
do
was
it right.
I thought she was working pretty hard. You know, I mean, she was doing that part of the job, but she wasn't coming up with the right answers. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter how hard you're working at it. When someone says, "What do you want to do about the border?" and your answer is,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Brian.
I don't want to be one of those people who piles on."
Yeah.
Kevin.
There you go. You know.
Yeah, Kevin just joined us. He's in a hotel somewhere. I bet it's in Oregon.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you tell by the twisted window or the light?
No, I can tell by what I know he's been doing lately in trying to buy a home somewhere up there.
Right.
And how you doing on your mission to get yourself a house? Nothing?
Oh, you had about 8 or 9 or 10 today.
Oh, really? You got to be exhausted.
Yep, pretty toasted. Got another 4 to go to tomorrow, and then heading back.
Yeah. Do you ever look at them and go, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah, about half of them today were like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was a couple of really good ones too. So.
Oh, really? And how expensive are properties up there on the average? This is up in Oregon, right?
It all depends on where you're looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheaper in California.
Oh, of course it's cheaper than California.
By a long shot.
Especially if you're out in the country, I think probably it's even cheaper, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the taxes are less. The registrations for your car and insurance and stuff like that's pretty less. Although you can find some pretty pricey places and high taxes in certain areas. But
my idea.
That part first, and then kind of avoid.
Well, they don't have sales tax there, right?
Correct, but they get you back.
They
property,
get you with property taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a county, you're less property taxes, less restrictions on building and stuff you want to do. But if you're in the city, you get pretty
Nailed.
It's pretty pricey sometimes.
Let me ask you this. I mean, are the places you're looking for kind of in the country? I mean,
we're looking at that's mainly where we want to try and find a place. But the main thing I want is a shop, and the ones in town or in the city areas don't necessarily have shops, or I have to build it myself, or you pay more for it. But we found a couple today that were pretty decent. And we found one that had to be totally leveled too. So
because I would love to be out in the country if I got a home.
The first one we saw today, I totally fell in love with. It was like a tree house out in the woods, view of the valley, big shop. Had enough room to.
When you talk about a shop, what are you talking about? What are you looking for as a shop?
A shop to work on my truck and my cars.
Okay.
Something that'll get me a lift. I got to put a lift up. I got to have like a 16-foot ceiling or more.
If you get a big enough property, you can have your own gun range too.
Yeah, you could do that in one place we saw. That
Wow.
was 5 acres. It was beautiful.
Well,
Yeah.
that'd be wonderful. I think, I mean, if I were to buy a house today, I would want to buy a house up in the country. In fact, I
Yeah.
always wanted to have a place on top of a hill somewhere where it had one road going up to it, and then I had every electronic piece of equipment I wanted in that place,
Pretty much the way this place could be. So it's kind of nice, but it was a little high on our budget side. So we're just trying to figure out if we can do it or not.
Yeah.
And we're going back to one that we really liked the last time we were up here. We're going back there tomorrow to do some measuring. See
Now,
if
you don't plan on getting rid of your house in California? Or do you?
we've been bouncing that back and forth.
Because you
Probably
would,
get rid of it.
yeah, because then you would have the money to do stuff with, for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus having a renter.
Now, are you wanting to move to Oregon because you discovered it when your daughter went to school there, or have you been looking up
No,
there
I've
forever?
been coming up here for years. We used to camp in the Cascades all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, Tina and I always wanted to have a bed and breakfast on the coast of Oregon
Hmm.
or the coast somewhere, but that isn't going to pan out. So.
Yeah. You have a house up there, right, Alan? You have
I have an
property?
apartment building right outside Portland, and I owned some condos in McMinnville, Portland, which is south and west.
McMinnville's nice. That's out where the museum is, the air museum.
The Spruce.
Yeah, I've gone to.
Now, are you the only owner of these buildings, or are you in on them with other people? Alan?
Oh, me. I'm sorry. I think you were talking with Kevin. I have two other partners. My mother, and I'll inherit her part, and a business partner where my mother and this guy owned a real estate company, a fairly good sized one, here in Fremont.
Mm-hmm. And do you do rent on those places? I mean, are they rented out?
Yeah, it's better if you can rent apartments and let them sit all vacant. I know that's not what you meant, but
What do you mean, let them sit all vacant?
I'm renting them. They're rental income property.
Oh, okay,
An
fine.
apartment building. Yeah,
No, I wasn't being facetious with you.
I know.
I was asking you, do you rent?
Yeah, we try and keep them rented all the time. Because that's how you make
do you
more
manage
money.
to do that, though? Marjorie, rented her apartment out, and it was always a continual problem. When somebody decided to leave, she had to then get the whole place painted and fixed up, and plumbing might have needed to be changed because it had gotten worn out. And it was just always a pain in the ass. That's why she's getting rid of it, and it's a pain in the ass to get rid of it.
It's we have a property management company that's based in Portland, Oregon, that manages it. They have an on-site manager that lives there. I'm not sure what the number of units is that requires it in Oregon. In California, if you have more than 16 units, you have to have a on-site property manager. But up there, this is considerably more than 16 units. These buildings, so
Wow.
I mean they're not 500 units either. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I make a good income when most of the units are rented.
And
so,
when they're not rented?
well, I don't think we've ever had more than 4 or 5 vacant at one time. We take care of the tenants. We're not gouging. It's a nice building. It's well kept up. You know.
And how many units?
I'm going to say probably close to 200. I don't really know the exact number.
200
Between
units?
200 and 225, something like that.
Wow.
We have a floor dedicated to seniors, and they require us to keep their rent at a certain rent. Then we have another floor, which is a bunch of units that police and firefighters live in, which makes the building kind of secure.
You have that many units in that building?
Yeah.
Whereabouts is it? What part of Portland?
It's in West Portland. What do they call it? Southwest, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Do you ever
it's
go
not far. It's not far from the Willamette River
Yeah.
that runs through the middle
Towards
of
Oregon
town.
City.
do you ever go up there, or do you just
Yeah, it's a good tax write-off, and it gives me a vacation. I used to go up there every 4 or 5 years. Now I go up there less because I don't travel as much
How
because
long
of
have you
COVID and all
owned
that.
this these apartment houses, or what was there
Well,
one or?
we've owned since I bought the house that I live in. I bought it when I was 19, and I just refinanced so I could buy rentals and more and more. And we found McMinnville, Oregon, and we were buying duplexes up there for rentals, and they were making good money. And then we decided this a couple apartment buildings became available, and they needed some work, but we had lenders that would lend us the money to
Wow.
get the work done to get them up to snuff. And
Well, and
I don't know, probably 15, 18 years we've had this building now. We've liquidated all the rest of our uh, properties in Oregon. And
Oh,
that's,
okay. But
well, my mother and the other business partner and stuff, my mother's 93, he's 89, so I'm the youngster. I'm the only one that can really go up there much, but it's been a while since I've been up
wow,
there.
your mother's 93.
Yep.
I'm sorry, she'll be 93 in September.
Okay, you're very lucky, all the way around,
Month away.
and to have a
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
that can help you with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, she's got, well, I don't think she has her broker's license anymore, but she was in real estate for a long time,
Wow.
for like 35 years or
Yeah.
so.
My father was in real estate. He was a broker, and
I mean, I certainly don't live like the money that people think or want to think I have. Or, I mean, I'm like you, Alex. I got a good amount of cash sitting on the sideline in stocks and mutual funds and investments, but I just don't. I've traveled so much in my life. I'm tired of traveling. Living in the San Francisco Bay Area, I can do just about anything I want. I can go to a five, well, they're not 5 time, and have a 4-star Michelin restaurant or whatever, 3-star, whatever. I can go boating. I
yeah,
can
well,
go.
I'll tell you, Marjorie.
It's like where you live.
Yeah, Marjorie, wants to do a trip, wants to do a cruise, wants to go somewhere like that. Quite frankly, I don't care either way about it. It's just as easy for me to sit at home, you know. But because I've had a lot of adventures in my lifetime, and I don't know if I need any more adventures. But here goes another one, so that'll be nice. But
I think it's if you're healthy enough, both you and Marjorie are healthy enough to travel, and you have the money, and it's not going to really put a dent in your life. I think it's a good thing.
there's no amount that will put a dent in our life. I mean,
Right.
how much money do we need to take care of us for the rest of our lives?
Well, maybe you should buy Trump Tower or something like that.
I mean, to begin with, every month I get Social Security, then I pay for stuff, and so while I'm digging into my savings a bit, I don't mind now because there's
See,
a lot sitting there as well. So
having 200 or 220 units in Portland is a good sized piece of property. But if we took that property and moved it to the Bay Area, I might be, have more money than Donald Trump. I know I doubt that, but I mean, it would be an astronomical amount of apartment buildings in the Bay Area. People are paying, as you're well aware, because you used to live here, but people are paying for 1-bedroom apartments where I live and stuff like that, $3,500, $4,500.
wow. Well, you look exhausted, Kevin.
Yeah, pretty toasty.
Pretty toasty.
Have another cocktail, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's. Yeah. I wish you a lot of luck. You have more to do tomorrow. And
Yeah.
how long does it take you to drive up there? 10 hours, maybe?
Yeah, but we've been doing a halfway mark. We go just south of Reading and then drive up.
Yeah.
If I really want to, I'll drive the 10 hours. I don't care, but
Yeah.
it's much easier to do it. We've
Yeah.
kind of got a halfway point.
He's a
Before we-
former truck driver. He knows how to deal with it. Anyway, it's time to go. Charlie, good having you here as always. And Alan, thank you for the real estate lesson. Josh Wheeler, thank you for the history lesson.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Stein, thank you for being here. And As I said, Kevin, thank you as well. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. There you go. There they go, folks. That's our, where's my camera? There we go. There goes our whole citizen panel. There'll be another one getting together in just a few minutes with Amy Manuel. She's coming at you with The Intersection. If you want to call her on Zoom, just go to gabnet.net, go over to the third column, go all the way down to the bottom. There's my name, there's her name. Click on her name, and that'll take you directly to her Zoom address. In the meantime, I'm going away until Monday when we will do the pop-up show, and then we'll be back again here on next Wednesday, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, of course, tell her I love her. Have a nice weekend, everybody.